do welcome you here, and I thank Lori for everything she did to make this day possible. I have spent some time envying all you members of the Bryant family who enjoyed years, even decades, of happiness with Ada. I suggest that today you might envy me because of the sheer joy and wonder that Ada brought to my life when she agreed to marry me. These have been among the happiest years of my life. And I'll continue to love her forever.
Okay. Amen. I have a little, I want to share with you something Mom wrote 10 years ago. This is pre-Bob. This is when she was living alone and was anticipating that someday we'd be gathering here to inter her. And this is part of what she wrote. She said, "Dear ones, these are my suggestions for my funeral. Please make it simple, and for the family, have a service at the gravesite. After cremation, take the urn to the Princeton Village Cemetery on a pleasant, comfortable day. Toss a few ashes into the air so that I know part of me will always be free, and bury me beside Len, where I know I will always be comfortable. Say some nice words to each other. Please sing Dona Nobis Pacem. Love to you all, and may something wonderful happen to you every day." Shall we sing it?
Susan is
Okay,
coming.
yeah, I'll come over.
Susan is stepping. I'm not sure I can do that.
Can't help with that.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Oh, I always have basic. You know, you can do 3 verses in a row. Okay, yeah. And I'll start.
I can't read it, so I'll just have to go.
You go second. Well, it's yeah, I'll tell you when the 1 verse is done. Okay. Dona nobis pacem pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Bobby, anybody say anything? Yeah. Little bad. We got Mom back to you after a few years. I'm glad you are reunited now and back as you were in life. But I want to tell you, Dad, there was an interim period there after you passed that Mom found a fella with a superb family. And we love him to pieces. We really have 2 families. Mom, you brought us together in that one. And obviously, you and Dad started us off. I love you both, and thank you both.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to tell Mom that I curled my hair today.
But I'm still wearing glasses.
And my skirt isn't too short.
Yeah, I'll close.
Well, but I think everyone in this family tried very hard to please you all the time. You had very high standards, and you taught us to have high standards ourselves. I hope we've all taught, I think we have taught our children your high standards, and Pop too, high standards. And it's been, we just have a wonderful family, and I thank you and I thank Pop for creating what you have created for us all, for all your descendants. And I will continue to curl my hair and wear short skirts.
I was very lucky to have Ada as my second wonderful mother-in-law. When I met Bob, I believe she was probably in her late 80s, and at the time, who'd have thunk that I would have her in my life as long as we did, and had a wonderful relationship with her. We spent a lot of time. We would have very wonderful, intimate talks, she and I. And I treasured those, and also treasured the fact that, your mom, up until the last month or two, totally, was in control. I mean, her mind was as sharp, and the fact that, even as late as December, January, I could sit there and have real conversations with her, which I couldn't do with my own mother at that point. It meant a lot, and I also want to say I was very proud to take on the mantle as favorite daughter-in-law once Diane passed. I wore it proudly.
Can we discuss favorite son?
Don't tell me you're wearing your favorite child t-shirts, please.
Do it.
I didn't want to embarrass Sandy in front of her.
I thought about it.
Jay, we
It would have
discussed
been
it.
totally appropriate.
He promised, I promised I wouldn't wear it if he promised he would.
And you had no idea I was considering it.
And she's not as trustworthy as I am.
I'm so naive, it never even occurred to me.
That's why you were the favorite.
I know.
For those that don't, for those that don't know, Sandy's wife Diane made these shirts for us that said "Mom loves me best," and we wore them at a reunion that Heather largely put together in West Virginia, and it was a community dining. We're all together, and the four siblings got up behind Mom and opened our coats and our shirts, and to show her this, each of us saying, "Mom loves me both." And she said, "Turn around so the people behind you know what's going on." Mom thought they might think we were exposing ourselves.
Always the proper lady.
Yes.
And Mom, I'm sorry that Bobby threw you in
Oh, there were two people in on that deal, Sandy. I remember it well.
the pool. Hey, CRS, it's all gone.
Yeah, his memory is not trustworthy anymore. Thank you, Bruna.
Obviously, as a daughter, I have a lot of very tender memories of my mother. The couple special ones stand out. When I was 12, I had to go to the hospital to get my appendix out. And I was terrified. Of course I was terrified. And it was in the evening, and the doctors came in, and it was all hustle bustle and nobody being very nice to the little kid. And so they give you an injection to kind of prepare you, right, make you sleepy. And Mom was sitting next to my bed, and she spent the next half an hour just talking in this low, kind, wonderful voice she had about her childhood on the farm, and how they had some chickens and what it looked like, and what her mother did and her father did, and just this wonderful, calming, gentle, kind half hour. And I calmed down. And then they came in to take me, and the doctors were mad at her because she kept me awake. And I told her afterwards when she told me that, I said, no. You knew your daughter best. It was always a very special memory for me, intimacy. And then another one that really stands out was as Dad was dying, Mom and I shared the room at Bob's house. And it was as if there was that much said, but there was an awful lot of mutual support at that time. I think we kind of supported each other. So thanks, Mom, for everything.
Thanks, Mom.
I have a lot to thank Ada for, too. I first heard about Ada from my mother because they were friends. And my mother used to say, Ada Bryan, she's so wonderful. She's such a good friend. And she respected Ada. She loved her as a friend. So I knew her before I met her. And then when I met her through Dad, I realized how right Mom was. She was just wonderful, a good friend, a wonderful woman. And now when I think about it, there's so many things that I think of being thankful. I'm thankful for what she brought to Dad. I'm thankful for all of you because we would not be here together if it wasn't for her. I'm thankful for the discussions that we used to have about art. One in particular when we kind of didn't really agree on whether the Salvator Mundi really was done by Leonardo da Vinci. But there's another thing that I'm thankful for that I need to tell her about because she doesn't know this. She is responsible for me being asked a question that I never in my life anticipated being asked, which was, would you like a mink coat? And I answered, well, yes.
She was so worried about that mink coat.
She was.
Every time I came to see her, Lori, do you want the mink coat? Jane, do you want the mink coat?
We offered to give it to
I
Jane
tried
with a red
that.
spray can of paint.
And it was funny when you asked, I said, but don't Jane and Laurie want it? And Laurie said, oh my God, no.
It came with a
were
can
so
of
happy.
Peter, right? Can of paint.
And so I was happy to take it, and I have worn it. It's wonderful.
And you're moving to Montana. You can wear it all year.
So,
Tell everybody it's bison when you're there.
I remember Kate coming to me when we saw each other when we were down there, saying with a slightly guilty look on her face, you know, I have that mink coat. She kept worrying whenever we wanted it.
so Ada,
So we
thank you for everything. And there are many, many things I think about when I think of you. And in the winter when I put on that coat, that's another one. Thank you.
And thank you to Bob for getting rid of that silver service.
Yes.
We had a lot of fun doing that. We went into the jeweler in Greenville, and we must have been there for 45 minutes. They were engaged in conversation, and just a wonderful time. It was fun.
That took a big weight off everybody's shoulder.
Yeah.
We didn't have to be asked if we wanted the silver service anymore.
Not least
Thank
my
you.
mother's shoulders.
And if we took it, we would have been honor bound to Mom to polish it.
And put it away for another 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make your daughters uncomfortable about saying they don't want it.
We wouldn't have felt that uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'll just say just something
model in a lot of different ways for a long, long time. But when she voted in November, I just thought, that's so, the idea of it being about more than yourself. I mean, how can you express that in a better way?
Yeah.
So I just want to say that to the
And Bob, thank you for getting her
For
registered.
getting her, yes, and getting her downstairs for
Getting her
that.
down.
I insisted on that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, Bob, but I put it on Twitter. Had a huge reaction. That photo.
That,
I wanted to say something else about Mom that was wonderful. Even at 103, when we went out to have lunch or dinner, she was sharp and pleasant to talk to, and like Bob, always had something interesting. I've told I don't know how many people this, Bob, that you're one of a half dozen people that I can go and enjoy a conversation with in any direction for as long as we like, without having to explain our assumptions, because we know we have so much in common in our knowledge. Sometimes Bob thanks us for taking him for dinner, and I said, "Oh, thank you very much. This is for me."
although I don't know, Bob, now that I don't have my martini buddy, maybe you'll have to have a martini with me next time we go out for dinner.
I shall look forward to that.
Okay, it's a deal.
Oh, you should know that Patty helped Mom along with her martinis. In later years, she would have her martinis and then she stopped. Like she's probably on medicine or something, Bob. She wouldn't have her martinis. But early on, she'd go, we'd have lunch, and the waitress would come and ask what she wanted. We'd always let Mom order first, after all, that was polite. So she'd say, "Oh, I'll have some iced tea." And Patty would say, "Oh, I'm going to have a martini up with a twist." And Mom said, "I'll have one too."
And it's so like Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that went on for a long time.
Well, as many of you know, I traveled a lot when I was a kid. We lived a lot overseas. We always come home for the summers. And the Princeton house was someplace very special. In part because it was always stocked with Jell-O and those Melba toast squares. It was awesome coming to Grandma and Grandpa's house. And it was we got evacuated early from India because of some civil unrest. And we actually got to live in Princeton for, was it six months? So I went to a little daycare school and went out to the Marquand Park. A lot of areas in Princeton are very special to me, and Nana and Grandpa are both important in my life, especially in those early years. And even to the point when I'd hurt myself and I would cry for Nana. I'd want Nana to come and make it better. So this place is very special to me, so much so that we named Catherine after Nana, her middle name. Her middle name is Ada.
I actually ended up seeing more of my mother and father by moving overseas. Because when we came home, it would be 3 weeks at a time of leave, and then I had 2 pregnancies. I stayed 3 months. What magical time that was. To come home, have the support of your mother while you're taking care of your baby, and then the 6-month evacuation. And I saw more of them in a more intimate way. It was wonderful.
Speaking of how sharp-minded Ada was when Bob and Ada came to visit us in New York, I don't know, it was 4 years ago, Bob? Something like that.
Yeah, 4 years.
And we said, well, Jane said to her, Mom, what do you want to do? And she wanted to go to Hamilton and the Whitney Museum, which had just opened. And, that's a kind of involvement, which is great at any age.
I'll tell you, your love story has inspired many an older person because, friends of mine who saw it in the paper or if they would just hear the tale from me, all went running off to tell their mother or father who was alone, don't give up yet. Patty's mother-in-law, fell in love and married at 97, So you have been an inspiration too many that I personally
Did you know that that story ran in the Nigeria Times?
Wow.
No.
The story ran in the Nigeria Times.
No.
With the picture.
Oh, no, not the picture. It ran in one of the Tokyo papers
Tokyo too. I
and
didn't know much.
Saudi Arabia. Anyway.
Well, my shorter version of Kate's comments is I wanted to thank her for saying yes.
Yes.
She resisted for quite some time, as I recall, and Dad was difficult to resist with his sonnets left overnight at the door. And, yeah, so thank you for saying yes and bringing us all together.
Yes. Yes. Although she did have a great line. I mean, I'm very happy she married you, but I also loved her. She told us that she'd rather be wooed than win. When she was still fighting off, should I get married? And then she also, did the kids mind if you lived together? And then I think she even reassured us that if you married, she didn't have to get married. So we were.
I could have extended the courtship for an endless period of time, but I would have extended it too.
She was amazing.
Your sonnets brought tears to my eyes. They were beautiful.
And you brought a spring to her step.
Absolutely.
Well, I knew something was really going on when she called me and she said, "Dear, I've been reading your book about prenups." It was my first word. That's perfect.
Well, the first word I remember getting was a letter to all of us, an email saying, "Bob and I are getting married." And gave the time and the place, said, "We hope you will all be." Meaning, we're not asking for your approval. We're going to do it. And I hope you're going to be there.
And we had a fun wedding.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go up every 4 or 6 weeks just to do errands for her and stuff. And she kind of threw out the trial balloon. What would you think if I got married? Oh, I think that would be great. She said, really? Yeah, why not? She was worried people wouldn't, that we wouldn't like the idea.
But she was more worried about living together and not getting married, because what would the other?
I've got to follow that up, Patty, because I remember when she talked to me about. She was actually visiting, and we sat on the couch, and she wanted to go through, well, what would we have to do if we lived together, and this and that. And I knew it was never going to happen, because when Carl and I were living together, and we were visiting, and she would say, "Oh, and this is my daughter Jane, and this is Carl."
She couldn't bear it.
And so I knew she was not going to move in with Bob and say, "Oh, and this is my blah, blah, blah."
She told me that if they weren't married, people would talk. And they said, "You're 98.
Who cares?
She
Give
cared.
them something to talk about."
She cared.
So speaking about living together, Ada and I found out we wanted to each prepare prenuptial agreements, and we found out we had the same attorney, and that wasn't proper for us. So I went to another one, and I went and I explained the situation, and she looked at me quizzically and said, "Why do you want to get married? Why don't you just live together?" I had not really thought of that, but I went home and talked it over with Ada, and we agreed that it was better this way.
That was a short conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, as soon as you agreed to living together, she changed her mind. What am I going to tell people?
I never wanted to do it,
But you were willing to, if that's what it took.
whatever.
Yep.
Well, I would like to get us all together and get some pictures taken if we can.
In the shade probably would be best.
In the
Yes.
shade.
Yeah. If we can
There's
maybe
solid
all-
shade under this tree.
Yeah,
That's probably the best place.
sure.
Or that one.
It's modeled.
It's a good thing I bought that sunblock. Looks like everybody's using it.
Yep.
Thank you for that. We came out. Oh, where's the hat? Where's this? Where's
Yeah, well,